Atlas chasers. So it's interesting. But like I said, I think it's the third stage. The first they found our signals and stuff in space. And the second one was a scout, a Muamua. Third one was like a double check scout, Borisov. The fourth one is this guy that let off probes over by Jupiter and whatnot and is leaving the solar system. And the fifth will be checking us out. The fourth, so we're like on the fourth, whatever you want to call it. The fourth, encounters and stuff. So that should be cool. We'll see though. We'll see how bad it is for us in the long run. I would like to think that aliens, super advanced aliens, would be too smart to just, wipe us out for the hell of it. But at the same time, what if it's not malicious? It's like when somebody said, well, you're going to build a highway, right? Through the middle of nowhere in the desert. You're going to build a highway, 2-lane highway, nothing crazy. Well, you gotta, prepare that land for that. You gotta clear stuff out of the way. You gotta move things. You gotta move obstacles. You gotta patent down the ground. You gotta do all sorts of stuff. And eventually, you're probably gonna destroy some anthills. You're probably gonna destroy a couple gopher mounds. You're gonna destroy things, a life, so that you can put in this highway in the middle of nowhere. Kind of like on, what's that one show? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The movie at least. They're like, oh, well, we're putting an intergalactic highway right here, and your planet's in the way, so we're going to destroy it. And the plans for this have been on file in the Galactic Federation's office for 50 years, so don't act surprised. And it might be something as mundane as that. We're just sitting here doing our thing one day, and, the planet is wiped out to make room for a freaking intergalactic highway. So you never know. I hope it's not like that. But would we feel bad if we did that? I mean, hell, I'll destroy an anthill if it's too close to my house. It doesn't matter if they mess with me at all. Because just in my mind, I'm like, well, ants look for food. Once they're established and they have a colony established, they start looking for food. And they jet out, with their pheromone trail looking for food. And it's like, if they're right next to my house, then the first place they're going to go is my house. And I got a kid who's not the best about cleaning up, much as I clean up after him. So, I'll get rid of that just because the possibility of ants being in my house is enough for me to say, nope. So, that's all I'm saying. Gotta watch out for the ants. And to them, that's all we could be is ants. So if we're lucky, they're cool, and they don't want to mess with us. If we're really lucky, they're just cataloging us to put on primitive societies of the universe show on their home planet. If we're really lucky, If we're fairly lucky, that'd be cool if they made contact, but they did it in a way where the governments couldn't hide it. That'd be cool if they were benevolent. They're like, the governments of humanity are really screwing them, holding them back. We should go and just help them out. And then they make themselves, present to us in such a way where the government can't do anything about it. And then they share their technology with us. Medical technology, just technology in general. So I think that would be cool. That would be a best case scenario. And what if they did it in a way where they said, look, this isn't against your religion. The God you believe in exists. And, it's out there. This technology will help you find him. So, I don't know. Wishful thinking, maybe. Wishful thinking. But I'd rather wishfully think than not. So if aliens are out there, I'm hoping that they're good. Now that this 3-Eye Atlas thing is winding down, all the astronomy channels on YouTube can get back to their normal, boring, the excitement's over. Get back to it. Get back to talking trash on Elon Musk and SpaceX, and we'll go from there. I think it's exciting, though. And I don't think we've heard the end of it. I think we're going to have another, mark my words, we'll have another interstellar visitor in no time. Because that's just how it is. That's just how it works, in my opinion. I think we'll have more before we know it. Yep. What do you guys think, though? Do you think that, 3-Eye Atlas was a real deal? Do you think it was a real thing, that the government was hiding? Do you think, what do you think? Do you think they're gonna come out and tell us stuff? Or they, because, the 3-Eye Atlas thing already is pretty public, a lot of people know about it. So, I'm kind of curious to see if they hide it, or if they try to hide it, how they can hide it. Because now's the time, if they want to try to hide it. It's on its way out of the solar system, it's moving at incredible speeds, and at the end of the day, regular people don't have the capability to track this thing on that level. Yes, some people are tracking it with sophisticated at-home telescopes and whatnot, but I mean, the kind of telescopes you need to really track this thing are just not available to the public. They just aren't. Things like the James Webb Space Telescope, things like that are, gazillions of dollars. That's the kind of thing that's tracking 3-Eye Atlas, and that's pretty exciting when you think about it, because it could just, that'd be really cool. That'd be so cool to be a fly on the wall in some of these rooms where this data is being processed. Because there was a while there that they didn't tell us what was going on with stuff. They weren't showing us the data from stuff, and they probably still haven't. They've been very closed-lipped on some of this stuff. So we'll see. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Check out the link in this video's description for the full video and full monologue. I think you guys would have a lot of fun. Check it out. And pretty quick here, I'll be going live on Kick and be doing this kind of sort of the same thing on Kick a couple times a week. I want to call it Art and Chat with TFG Concepts on Kick, and it's going to be on 10 to 11. Can go past that, though, on Wednesday and Friday nights. In the meantime, if anybody wants to support and buy me a coffee, there's the information to do that. And thank you all for swinging by and checking it out and hanging out with me.